Hey guys, Rebekah here again. Today I want to talk to you about my top 5 things to bring joy into your life and to have joy in your life. Um, this is going to be a part of my Mental Health Monday series, and with it I'm just going to discuss either topics related to mental health or just a mental health check-in. We can all check in down below in the comments if you're struggling with something or whatever. And the basis for this is that everybody, every single person, every single day of the year is going through something. It could be a health condition, a health scare. It could be a divorce, a breakup, tests that they're studying for, failing a class, money problems. The list goes on and on and on. And sometimes we don't use the outlets that we should. Be it counseling or seeing a psychiatrist or medication or whatever. So my goal here is to share with you my top 5 things that bring me joy in my life that might also bring you joy. And that's kind of the goal there. Before we get into that though, I just want to say thank you for all your interaction, for the likes, the subscribes, even the dislikes, because I want to know that you didn't like it and what I can do to improve there. So let's dive in, all right? And I'm going to start actually in reverse order because even though number 5 is one of the most important things, it's not the thing that it will bring you joy, but I think the compilation of all of them together is really what's going to do it for you. Anyway, so my number 5 is to serve others. And what do I mean by that? I just mean that if there is someone in need and you're able to help them out, you should absolutely do it. A friend needs a ride 1,000 times and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not your personal chauffeur. No, you're not their personal chauffeur, but you are a friend. And a friend in need, you can help them. And yes, it may cost you gas money. Yes, it may cost you time. But if you are literally in a place where you can afford to give them a ride and afford to help somebody else, whether it be a meal or picking up a box of tissues for your neighbor, whoever is in need, if you have a way to serve them, even with the minor things, do it. It could even be something as simple as cleaning out the junk in your house and going and donating. That's still serving others, and it is a great thing. And it may feel like a chore in the beginning because it sounds like somebody's telling you something to do, but it's not. It's not a chore. It really will bring you joy in your heart because deep down you've ended up helping somebody buy something that was nice that they couldn't afford. And it'll bring you joy being able to give somebody a ride or pick up tissue for your neighbors or just whatever. Every little thing counts, and it has an impact, and sometimes a bigger impact than you even know, to help somebody else. So number 5, serve others. My number 4 thing is equally important, and it especially relates to those who are in good health. And so that number 4 tip is to appreciate your health. There are so many people out there, children, elderly, everybody in between, who are really battling serious health conditions, be it mental or physical. And if you are in good health, be appreciative. Yes, you might have, had to have a digit or a leg or a foot or whatever amputated, but you're still alive and you're still able to do things and to get around and thrive in life, because there are people that do have it worse. There are quadriplegics who their quality of life may not be as great as ours is, but we should appreciate what we have now health wise, because they could change. It could all change in the blink of an eye, truly. So appreciate your health and appreciate your family or your children's or your husband or your partner or whomever. Appreciate their health as well. There are so many people out there with mental health conditions, be it physical, be it gastrointestinal, or heart problems. There's thousands, probably millions of conditions that people don't even know about. The conditions that people are looking for answers for, that it's a mystery diagnosis kind of situation. So be appreciative of your health. The paraplegic, a lot of people could say, why would you want to live like that? Well, if I had to put myself, this may make me cry, but if I had to put myself in their shoes and my options were to not be on this earth anymore, no matter how grand heaven or hell or whatever, if there is no afterlife, maybe, I'd much rather be able to see, you know, my children, my grandchildren, my friends, my significant other, my whoever, grow and interact in life and be a part of their joy in life than you know, as opposed to not being involved at all. So there is joy no matter where you are in life. So don't let your health hold you back. And that's why I say appreciate your health, because, you know, I've seen people have their, you know, have children, have wonderful pregnancies, and then as the baby's delivered, after the baby's delivered, they find out the baby has, you know, heart problems, and it's going to be, you know, tons and tons of medical expenses, lots of therapy. You know, this poor child's going to have surgery after surgery and so many things. And if you have healthy children or you are healthy yourself, be appreciative. Be so appreciative of that. All right, my number 3 topic is obviously of equal importance, but it's savor the small things. And I truly mean savor the small things. We resent the fact that we may have to buy medication because it's expensive and we really can't afford it, or we may not even think about the fact that we have a roof over our head, or we may not think about the fact that we're able to purchase bottled water, the fact that we're using a phone to watch this video on, the fact that we have internet. Because let me tell you, I live in Alabama, and there are so many places that there is no internet available. So, you know, can you imagine, like, here we are, it's 2021, and you can't get internet at your house? That's crazy, probably to a lot of people, but it's so true. So be thankful for literally the small things. The fact that you have shoes to put on, who cares if they're old? The fact that you have a car to drive, who cares if it's a 1989? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you have something to get you from point A to point B. It matters that you have food. It matters all the things. It may not be the things that you want, but maybe it's the things that you need. Even if you're homeless, you're falling asleep at night and you're waking up on the right side of the dirt, right? There's just, no matter how you look at it, there's always something to be thankful for. So savor those small things. My number 2 tip is think happy. And it sounds easy, but let me put it into perspective. Think happy. You know, I'm sure everybody's heard of the power of positivity, and you can manifest your own destiny and all the stuff that the gurus tell you. And it sounds simple, but you have to actively pursue it. Yeah, sometimes happy memories fall into your lap. Sometimes happy, you know, great days happen. You'll have a good hair day, you had a great day at work, or you made a lot of sales, or everybody was nice to you, or somebody in the drive-through paid for your food, and lucky for you there was nobody behind you, so you didn't have to keep it going, or whatever. But there is always bits of happiness spread throughout the day. It's how you choose to think about them and look at them. So I encourage you to actively think happy. Here's a good for instance. Let's say that your significant other does the following. He or she constantly leaves their clothes on the bathroom floor. He or she always leaves toothpaste in the sink and you can't stand it. He or she doesn't help with the children at dinner time. They just sit down and start eating. Okay, that's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it is this. Okay, well, he or she doesn't help with the homework, but they pay for childcare. He or she doesn't help with the homework, but they cut the grass. He or she leaves their clothes on the floor, but they also do the laundry. You have to always balance out all the good and bad with every situation. Now, I'm not saying if you're in an abusive relationship to focus on the positives, because I've been there, done that, and it doesn't work. What you need to do is, if the bad constantly outweighs the good, then you might need to reconsider things. But if you're focusing on the happy thoughts and the positive thinking, then you will be happy. It just remind you of all the reasons why you like this person, or why you like this job, or why you like this car, or this phone, or this outfit, or this hairdo, or whatever the topic is. If you focus on the good of it, you'll see the good. You truly will. And that brings us to my number one topic. My number one way to create joy in your life, if you will. And that is, and this is, if you don't hear anything else in this video, hear this, okay? Hear this, it's beyond important. The number one thing is to take control. And you're like, I'm in control of my life every day. What you talking about, Willis? What I mean is, you may be in control of certain situations. You may be the boss at work. You may be in control of what book you read, or you may be in control of what's made for dinner at night, or certain little things. But what I'm talking about is taking control no matter what. And here's a good example. If you have somebody in your life, let's start with a coworker. You have a coworker in your life who you feel like they just really set out their day, every day, how they're going to make you miserable. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Negative Nancy at work. And it seems like no matter what you do, she's not happy. She doesn't like what you brought to microwave for lunch because it smells funky. She doesn't like the outfit that you wore, or the loud eyeshadow that you have on, or whatever. Or if you do a project, she tries to one-up you. Whatever the case may be, there's a negative Nancy everywhere. There's just gotta be, unless you are self-employed or the owner and you only hire people that you like, right? Anyway, so this person knows how to push your buttons, and they're constantly just pushing you to the brink where you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna snap on her because I'm gonna have to tell her how it really is. Well, that's the thing. If you take control, you also take away the power. So let's say Nancy stole your lunch today. Are you gonna let that bother you? There's a difference between addressing it and letting it bother you. Now, do you think she's gonna get more joy out of you going around and telling everybody and asking everybody, who stole my lunch, who stole my lunch, whatever? Or would she take more joy out of you saying, maybe being not confrontational, but maybe saying something like, Nancy, did you forget your lunch today? I would have bought you something. Literally kill them with kindness. Take control of that situation. So I dated somebody that would constantly push my buttons, and one of my things is, I'm more settled down now, but if you push me, like if you tell me that I'm not going to do something or that I won't do something, I'm absolutely going to do whatever it takes to be able to do that. And just keeping on poking the fire is not going to help it. So, and it used to burn me up, and it would just make me snap like, oh my God, blah, just go off for no reason, really. That person, because you've got a person like this too, I'm sure, in your life, is literally pushing at you. Sometimes it's parents that are like, oh, you're never going to be anything, and all you do is sit around and play video games, and you read all the time, and it's not getting you anywhere or making you any money or whatever. Everybody has got somebody that's pushing, and you're just like, oh my God, why can't they just leave me alone and live their life? But if you take away the reaction that they're trying to gain out of you, which is to get you riled up, to make you mad, to make you leave, to whatever, quit the job. If you take that control away and kill them with kindness, and they can't get the reaction out of you, that's what's going to burn them up. They might up the ante, I don't know, but they're not getting the reaction from you. So they probably are going to channel that energy somewhere else. And 9 times out of 10, and I say this with conviction, it is a jealousy thing. They are jealous of something in your life. Maybe it's how you look, maybe it's how you speak, maybe it's the car you drive, your spouse, the amount of money that you make versus what they make. It could be literally anything. They could feel inferior to you. Jealousy, inferiority, just things like that kind of manifest into something ugly. And sometimes they don't even realize that they have this power over you. They don't even realize it. There's a lady, when I was in high school, I worked at a grocery store, And there was this lady that came in, and she was always kind of in a rush and never smiled. I mean, ever. And I always thought, gosh, she just does not like me. I hate checking her out because she just kind of was always like real hasty and rude kind of acting. Well, I asked her one day, I was like, how come you don't ever smile? And she said, what? And I said, how come you don't ever smile? You're always just running in here real quick and you always seem so angry. I said, is something wrong? I've never seen you smile. And she said to me, you know what? Nobody's ever asked me that. I've never thought about smiling or not smiling. I just kind of come in with purpose and leave with purpose. And I said, oh, okay, well, and of course she smiled at me, and I said, you have such a beautiful smile. You should smile more. And from literally that point on, she always waited in my line to check out, and she always smiled at me. And we, from then on, like, always had good rapport and conversations. And I know it sounds so silly and probably cliche, but even that small little, me asking about why you don't smile created, obviously, a spark in her to be more mindful of how she maybe presents herself, or the fact that other people were kind of in her world. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world and we're like, just rush in, rush out, do this, do that, just going through the motions, and we don't stop or pause to consider others and others' feelings. Not that I'm a saint, because obviously I'm not, but when you take control of your life and you take control of your positive thinking and savor the small things and appreciate your health and serve others, all those things combined will create so much joy in your life. And let me leave you with this thought. There is nothing wrong, and there is no one that should steal the joy in your life. There's nothing wrong with having joy, and no one should be able to take your joy from you. So many people are afraid to give reaction to if you get a gift, or you made a good grade, or you're excited about this car you got, or this promotion, or whatever. We're afraid to show excitement. Why? Why can't we be happy and be happy out loud, right? So again, there's nothing wrong with being joyful in your life. There's nothing wrong with having joy in your heart. And this has literally nothing to do with religion or manifest destiny or whatever. It's literally just taking control and being grateful and thankful. And if you have joy in your heart, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a bad day. It doesn't mean that that your life is all la la la, floating on butterflies and rainbows and unicorns and stuff. You'll have the ups and the downs, but if you choose and actively try to find ways to be happy, look for the good, be grateful for your blessings, that kind of thing, all those compile to create joy in your life. And nobody should be able to steal that from you. Nobody. I mean, there are terrible, horrible things that I could tell you that have happened to me in my personal life. And I did let that person, those things, steal joy from me and in my life for a long time. I mean, I probably was about emotionless as one could be. But through the years, I realized that there is absolutely nothing wrong with being happy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having joy and helping others and serving others and taking people under your wing and just showing that it's okay and you're happy. Happy for no dang reason. Have you ever met somebody like that? Just happy all the time, happy for no reason in your life? That is totally a front. Well, let me tell you, I'm here to tell you, it's not a front. I have my ebbs and flows. I have days when I'm just manic and cussing and whatever, like a sailor. And then I have my other days where I'm happy-go-lucky and everything's all sunshines and rainbows and glitter farts and stuff like that. But it's all about mindset. Literally all about mindset. And if you let the bad get to you, it will destroy you. It will destroy your day. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you watched, and I hope you continue to have a great week. If you have any questions or comments or anything that's bothering you mental health wise, or that you'd like to talk about, shoot it down below in the comment section, and I will respond to it, because I'm good like that. And hopefully we can build some rapport together, and because I want this to be like a community where we can talk about things, especially on Mondays, because I'll be more devoted to that. And if you need me for anything, you can comment down below, you can message me in private. I also have my email written in my bio or whatever that thing's called on the YouTube channel, so you can definitely always contact me. And I would just like to end this with saying that I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a, I don't know what they're even called, but a guru that's like all health, happiness, light, and all that stuff. I'm not. I'm just me with just my opinions and what I think might be helpful to you all. Anyways, have a good night and subscribe and like and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Thanks. Bye.